So I just sent the link out to the other guys, and I just got kind of caught up with some stuff. But I got 11 books today, so I yeah, they'll probably come up a little soon or a little later. Sorry,
Oh yeah.
I just got possessed. Dude, did you see A Quiet Place, the new one that came out?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, it's not bad. I think you should watch it. I think you'd like it. Or you can go fuck yourself. Anyway,
movies where everybody has to be quiet the whole time tend to bore me.
you know, I was gonna say
big loud fucking horror movies.
I would say that if I like I was telling Isela, like if I was gonna be in a quiet place, I'd be the first one dead, and everyone around me would be dead.
Yeah, I can't be quiet for that long. Like I'm gonna say something, or I'm gonna laugh at something, or whatever.
I know. Well, I'm just
like,
loud.
I'll laugh at stupid shit even in like the worst situations.
Yeah, and I'm loud, so I mean, right? I'm not. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm pretty quiet, right?
Sure.
You fucking asshole. Anyway, we are live. Obviously, we have been talking, just waiting for the other guys to come through. Started a little bit early today. We're talking about final issues today. I was just thinking about the other day, like it's fun to like search for first appearances and like first costumes, and there's all this argument about like cameos, and then the community gets all pissed off about cameos and all that stuff. And I guess it's a good discussion. Actually, it's not to get in arguments about what the market says, blah blah blah. So I was thinking of something that was like kind of fun to talk about, and something that I actually still enjoy doing, even if I'm not into the comic, but having the knowledge about what specifically an issue is or whatnot. What's up, Darth? I think it's just kind of fun to, go after. And then also you can argue against what a final issue is and what's not. You can argue about what is the better read, I guess. But typically what happens, right, with final issues is the reason there's a final issue is either the writer just doesn't want to do it anymore, Ollie, like Robert Kirkman, or like the story or the comic book just isn't doing well, and they end abruptly, or there's like a plan for the final issue, like in GI Joe, for example. But a lot of these comics, like I feel like half of them, like it was planned, and their half it was not. So anyway, if you guys could, I don't know what I was gonna say. Never mind. Scratch that. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. We are as of yesterday or this morning, we're at 708 subscribers. So good job, everybody.
Nice.
Specifically me.
Just kidding. But are you doing the show about final issues because this is in fact your subtle way of saying this is my final issue?
This is the final time that I can't take it anymore with Jason. I'm coming over after this. I'm gonna end you after this episode. Yes. I'm gonna stick your fucking head in an oven. Okay.
Yeah. Excommunicado.
Excommunicado. Yeah, we got the list of excommunicado pickles.
What did I watch? That freaking. Actually, I watched 2 movies yesterday. Oddly, I haven't like sat and watched movies in a while, but I had like, not going on, so I watched like 2 different movies yesterday.
What'd you watch?
I watched that newer one on Apple, The Instigators, with Matt Damon.
Yeah. So did I.
That was actually I enjoyed it. The end was kind of like but like the dialogue, the chemistry between them, I really enjoyed.
It's that Boston thing, dude. Boston they have their thing.
Well, I found also that any movies involving like multiple members of the newer Oceans movie that they did,
they do Boston. Yeah,
I feel like they had such good chemistry in those movies, and the dialogue like made half of the films. That when you see them in other stuff, they still kind of have that chemistry. So to see Casey and Matt
Casey did Gone Baby Gone, man. That movie's underrated, man. That movie's tough. It's hard to watch.
I cannot watch that movie more than I watched it once. And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I did it. I did it once, and I was like, okay, I don't think I could ever watch it again. Because one of the guys I follow on Instagram, Paul, I was just talking to him about that, like, because he's from over there, and he'll talk on his IG post, and he has that thick accent. And so I was watching that, and I was watching the Red Sox games, for whatever. But it always reminds me about The Town, The Departed. And he reminded me about Gone Baby Gone. I just always forget about that movie because I could only stomach it once. It's really good, and it's kind of, he blows dude's head off, but it's still a tough movie to watch, man. It's a hard subject.
Yeah. No way, I can't watch that movie.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like with the Catholic Church. I saw it one time, and I don't think I could ever watch it again. Yeah, it's a good movie, but the subject matter is too tough.
Yeah, I can't watch movies where they killed like animals. Like,
no, me neither. I don't like those either.
Like when they shot the dog in John Wick, was it 8?
Yeah, well, it was the first one.
What? The first one?
I mean, no, sorry. They shot when Hal Berry's dog got shot.
Oh, I always forget. There's so many now that I always kind of forget.
Is that 3? It wasn't 7?
3. 7. There's only been 4.
Oh, there has?
Yeah.
That's my joke. Fuck you, Jason.
It is 4. It feels like a lot more.
4 was I think she was in 3 and 4, if I remember correctly.
That has a ton of.
It might have been 4 that she was in. I don't remember.
Michael Baker, fucking goddamn it! Like seriously, you gotta talk about Artax. Son of a bitch. Anyway, should take off your wrench for that shit. Anyway, let's get into it. We're about 6 minutes in. Fedora's in the house talking about final issues. There's no argument against what a final issue is here. You can't talk about any of that shit. It's all legit. Anyway, we're gonna talk about. I thought it'd just be fun to look at the prices and some stuff. I don't even know what you call the spec. I mean, I think it's just fun stuff to have knowledge about and see where the market's at for some of these books. Again, I just want to thank everyone. We have 708 subscribers as of this morning. We gained a couple over the weekend, and I want to thank the crew for everything except for Pickels. He is an absolute piece of shit. And yeah, I want to thank the support from the community as well.
This thing is loading. It's like a circle.
He looks good on me.
I can't see him.
Who? Me?
That's all right. That's all right.
Me or Darth or Ferd?
I'm usually a circle anyway, so it's all good. All right, let's get into. God damn it! Fucking A, man. God damn! Stop it!
Who's Christy? No,
I don't know. I don't know. It just sounded mean.
Is Pickles really there?
Yeah, he's here. I can see him just fine.
I can't see him at all.
Huh? I'll try. You might need to log back in.
Who, me? Wait, now.
Yeah, because I can see him, and I think Darth can see him. I can see everybody fine.
He turned off his camera, but now, can he talk? Tell him to say something.
Yeah, I'm talking now. Can you hear me? Nope,
wait,
you can't hear me.
Hold on.
Oh, that's right. The South Dakota governor. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
I can see him.
All right. Cool. All right. I got a lot of books today, so I'll try and get through these as soon as possible. I know everyone's got a busy Sunday. It's a balmy 55 degrees here in Seattle. So anyway. Yeah, let's get into this. Let's see.
Ooh,
actually, first, I want to share something that I think Pickles and I are very excited about, and maybe like 4 people on the panel or on the
have babies.
No, we're not having babies, dude. But oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. And a good friend from the Discord shared this today. D23 Marvel Studios confirms Iron Fist. Now, I don't know if that's going to be Swordmaster, but one can hope. Read the article. I'll put this in the chat here, but I woke up to that this morning. I just want to share with the community. And anyway, I'm very excited.
Lindley. Well, because I saw some post too that was like the supposed leaked Avengers Doomsday cast.
Okay.
And it's like everybody. Like everybody.
I was a little overwhelmed with all the announcements.
Yeah, it was like 3 pages of like photos of people, and it's like literally every single person they've introduced in the MCU, including like Iron Man and Thor and all that shit too. I'm just like, God,
how are they gonna do Iron Man if Iron Man is Robert?
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, dude. They didn't talk. No Star Wars, man. No Star Wars.
They said possible. They got Tom Cruise listed as a possible superior Iron Man.
Did they show Finn,
like
whatever
Kingpin
Finn's
might
name
be
is.
in it, huh?
They show Finn. They didn't show Finn though, did they?
No.
They showed Shang-Chi.
That's right. That Swordmaster's coming.
Did they?
I don't know.
Well, because like Shang-Chi's the one who trains Lin Li to like.
Yeah, and they didn't even
read comic books. God damn it! Just kidding.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
That could lead to all sorts of fun stuff. I really wish they would do some of the more, some of that stuff. Because I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. Like, that's one of the ones that I've been waiting for a sequel to.
I don't know.
Or just something to be done with the character.
I really liked Eternals. I thought that was a great, phenomenal movie.
So did I.
That was a joke.
I think I finished it.
I stand, dude. I'm a Phase 4 fan.
You're Phase 4 fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
this purpose, bro. It was like the in between. We just came off an Endgame. You know, it was a little small show, small characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody hated it. They didn't like it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Got bashed. So kind of scared Marvel off a bit.
I mean, I'm still watching everything. So
I loved Loki.
Yeah, all of the shows. I mean, Eternals, bro. I'll bullshit aside. I think half of it was good. The other half was like, oh no.
I just can't get the concept of like there's this big ass like god or whatever in the middle of Earth and no one's seen it. And I know it's literally. I don't even call it nitpicking, but like I guess you can call it nitpicking. But I don't know. I'm just glad Salma Hayek was in it. Anyway, we'll get back into the presentation. Anyway. All right, so let's start off kind of a different one. This is TMNT 32, published about 10 years ago, limited to 1,000 print run. This is obviously, not the original series or, what have you, but I couldn't find any recent sales of this book. I couldn't even find any listings of this book. I'll start with Darth Lopez. Darth, I don't know if you're a TMNT fan, but like, have you ever heard this book before?
No, I am not. No. I have a grudge against Turtles.
Uh-oh.
Because I'm a G.I. Joe guy.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
they came and wiped away G.I. Joe. So no, just joking. No, I'm not a Turtles guy, bro. I've never been. I barely watched the cartoon. It was all right. I love the video game, like the first arcade video game.
Yeah, sure.
Other than that, I don't know nothing about Turtles, dude. And I like the movie and the song by Vanilla Ice. So there you go.
You gotta like something about it, right? Fedora, Fedora, have you ever seen this on the wall at Midtown before?
No. That's the Image Comics one?
It's not Image. It's
I can't see it. That's why.
Hold on. Let me see.
That's true, Michael Baker.
Oops. I can't pull it up. Sorry. It's from Mirage. It's not Image. But it came out 10 years ago.
I didn't even know they were still doing stuff 10 years ago.
I know, me either. I think so. Supposedly this came out like years after the 31st issue, kind of like Ghost Rider type deal. But it's super rare. So there's 1,000 in print, and I can't find any on eBay or anywhere. Chat, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this book or seen it, but like I'd be really curious.
Really quickly, remember when we were talking about those video game books, and I was talking about Tekken? I found a Tekken variant. I found the first appearance of Tekken, and it was my coworker found it because he's like a big Tekken guy. And then I was like, what the fuck? You found that? And it's so rare that I can't even find like a picture of somebody holding it. Like nothing. There's like nothing on there. I tried my comic shop, can't find any data, any recent sales on it. And it has the I guess the publisher put like a coupon in it. I don't know why they would do that. And then they like cut like something and then they like pasted it onto the top of the comic. It was weird. Yeah, I have a picture of it. I guess I'll post it in Discord later. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. But as far as this is like I don't know what the hell this is.
I guess you could call it a ghost. I don't know.
Would this be the rarest Turtles book?
1,000 copies. I mean, it's got to be up there, right?
I would say so.
Right.
It's more rare than the first issue.
I mean, the fact that I can't find any copies of it is pretty amazing.
No sales? No.
I mean, no sales. Sorry. Yeah, I can't find any sales of it. I can't even find any listings of this book. Pickles, do you have this book? You ever seen on Robot Monster Island's like whatnot shows?
Not this. very rarely do I see Turtles on there. He usually has a lot of copper, bronze, silver, and gold, but it's usually mainly like DC, Marvel. Every once in a while, some GI Joe, but I very rarely see Turtles on there. Usagi Yojimbo more so than Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Usagi Yojimbo, the famous rabbit. Cool. Yeah, I just figured I want to start with something kind of like out of the, I guess, search. And I guess first, do you guys even look for final issues at all? Is that like a thing for you guys?
No, because I not me. I mean, because I put runs together. So
Yeah.
of only the runs I want, but that, you know what? It's funny because there's a book on here that actually made me give up on putting runs that particular run together. But for the most part, no. If I find any final issue, I'll pick it up just to see, just to see if I could later on, and it's flippable. But
yeah,
no, I don't really search them. No.
That's cool. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, because that shows that's where I got that Swamp Thing.
That's where you get that Swamp Thing. It took you long enough, you fucking son of a.
Hey, I finally found a copy that I was just like, oh, and now they're actually they won't give me a weird green label if I get it slabbed.
You're a collector. I didn't know you were a 9.8 whore.
I don't want it. I don't know. That ain't 9.8. It's got staple, a little bit of stress at the top staple.
Does it even have staples on it? Did you just get one with staples on it, or did you put
like
your own staples in there?
It's a pretty clean copy, honestly.
You got a staple
with the rights and signature, baby.
Oh, okay. All right, taking up a notch. All right. Next up, I figured I had to do a Sonic comic for someone here. Sonic X number 40. I guess it's the second Archie series or just another Archie series. I couldn't find any recent sales of this either. There's a couple on eBay that claim they're 9.0 at least. $200 asking. I think I'd rather have a Sonic 98 and like 8.5, I guess, but I think the cover's really cool on this. It's got the gold rings, the rings, right? So I could hear the comic or the cover on this, and I just thought it was a fun one. Fedora, what are your thoughts on this book? I know.
For 200, I don't know, probably pass. For me,
right.
At least.
Yeah, for sure. Pickles, you like this cover? You ever heard of it before, or book?
I feel like my main search that I have saved on anything is going to be for the 98. So anytime it pops up, I'll search it. I feel like this book I've seen a few times in passing while flipping through that, because they just throw random books in there. They're like somebody might have hit the wrong key, or there's like a 98 in the title, so it attached to it or whatever. So I think I've seen it a couple of times, but it wasn't anything like you said, $200 asking. It's like, yeah, I'm passing on that because I don't know what the book is. And it's like I could probably get a semi beat up raw copy of 98 for that.
Right. Yeah, and probably the preference, right, is the 98. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think this would ever surpass 98 in like value, but
yeah, 98
the cover's cool.
Hard to find. I was actually when I was sitting around yesterday watching the game, I was looking at that book in particular. It was like, oh, new listings, blah, blah, blah. And then you look and they're just all so beat up. Like the spines are just like smashed up, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's
98 is what, first appearance of
Shadow.
Yeah.
Man, these were kids' books.
It's the first appearance of Shadow, Rouge the Bat, and I think Big the Cat was in there as well. There's multiple first appearances.
Yeah, these are kids' books, man. They're hard to find. Like I said, I did not know about this book, but now I wrote it down. I'm going to mentally remember it. So when I do ever go hunting, which has been a while, I'll see if I can find it. Sometimes when I hunt, I get good luck with Sonic books.
Yeah, and you've been doing pretty well in the Sonic books. Yeah,
I haven't found anything in a while because I haven't been hunting in a while. Actually, I'm missing it because I'm kind of questioning what I want to do in my hobby. But
I was like, I thought you were gonna go.
No, because I'm getting bored, dude. Like I don't
yeah.
I don't have anything to sell. I like what I'm reading, but that's another topic. But Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to find it now.
Yeah, and that's kind of the purpose
dude.
of the list too. Is like cameos and like trying to hunt for that new, like I don't know, Deadpool book or what have you, all the announcements and stuff. Like it just kind of got like, I mean, I'm not really down with that. So I was trying to think of like a subject to talk about and some books to like actually look for. That'd be kind of fun to do as a collector versus like, I mean, yeah, some of these and going forward with these books, like I know I start off with 2 super rare books, but some of these books are like, it's just specifically for the last issue, right? Some of these books are like, man, I can't believe that's $10 now, that kind of thing too. So,
and well, I mean, collectors and the Sonic books are rare, dude. They're kids books, so they get put in the kid section.
Right.
Like I says, I found more Sonic books with some value and half price books and other type of stores like that in a comic shop.
Yeah,
dude, they don't even have back issues of Sonic, and if they do, it's like within the last month or so. It's like every comic book shop in the area orders Sonic books to the T. So there's like none for the shelf. Let alone the variants.
Yeah,
I'm surprised the variants currently don't go up that much. I mean,
you got it. They will. They will.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
will.
and that's why I'm hoarding them all because where are they? They're always up on eBay, a few at a time, and they don't go for much. But eventually, because you can't go out and to a shop, or in my area at least, and go out and get a Sonic RI for issue 70. You know what I mean? They're just not on the shelf. They're not on the wall.
Yeah.
So sooner or later, they'll be gone. And
so the thing with Midtown, as big as we are, we only get we don't get many copies. Like we don't, like, sometimes I have to tell the back issue guys, like, hey, like, could you send us some more Sonic, something to, for the kids, because kids always ask for Sonic. Jesus Christ, they ask for Sonic all the time, and we got nothing to. And then the guys at the back issue department, they're like, yo, bro, like that's hard, like, because they got to go out there, they got to, that we have buying days and people bring in the stuff that they want to buy, and it's never Sonic. And then they're like, yo, bro, trust me, like, that's something that we look for, but we don't, nobody's giving it to us. And when they do order, the IDW stuff, we don't get many, and it sells out like quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I would say, like, even if you look at like the early IDW Sonics, like retailer incentives from like 1 through 30 are like $200 on eBay.
Yep, gone. And I found some of them, and I've said like over and over, they sell, but they sell slow. You know what I mean? Like you might have seen a sell, like, because I found some and I try to get the max value, dude, not even close. And I'll have minimal watchers at a time, and I'll send offers, and every now and then they'll counter or they want too low, but then somebody just buys it flat out or accepts an offer. They take time to sell, but it's such a niche market, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I think people that collect them and buy them, they pre-order them, so they already have them.
Yeah.
And I think
it's definitely not flipping. Like you don't.
No,
you gotta. But it's not it's a cheap buy-in, and if you can get one, and
a homie of mine who works at the shop in Times Square was like, yo, somebody told me you like Sonic. And then he was like, yo, like, I got a lot of these like RIs from when I was collecting them before I started working here from like 10 years ago. Well, not 10 years ago, but for like, 3 years ago. You want them? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like all near mint, and they're worth like $80, $90 a pop, like the RIs he gave me. And then he was just like, yeah, man, like, I know you're a big Sonic fan. So like, here, like, somebody told me about it. And I was like, thanks. So it's cool to be known as the Sonic guy,
Yeah,
it is.
I'm known as the. I'm really known.
I always give the credit to James Kreider, right? Like, I always give the credit for me when I started hunting these books and doing my own thing with them, because I saw Kreider post something about Sonic. Then I found one, and I literally sold it like in less than a day for like for what I posted it for. And ever since then, I've tried to find them, and they are findable. But again, They sell, but they sell slow. My experience, but they do sell. They are flippable.
Most definitely, man. Yeah, and it's yeah, and they're coming. I mean, like a lot of kids just don't really know about them as much anymore, at least from where I live.
Right.
So it's just coming, the whole digital shit. So anyway, good stuff, guys. All right, on to the next one. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur number 47. I think about this book because this was the first final issue that I saw. It was like Moon Girl was like announced and all that stuff. Shout out to Mighty Mel V. He was a huge Moon Girl proponent. Him and Ninth Wonder, they kind of got me into Moon Girl. I didn't even know about Moon Girl until then, but this was the final issue. I found it on a newsstand at Grumpy Man's Comics. Pickels, you know about that place in Ballard? So yeah, found it for like $4.50. Pressed it out, all nice and beautiful. Sold it like a month or two later for $180. This is post pandemic, so it wasn't pandemic times. Now it's $10, for a near mint copy on the Bay. I don't know if you can still find this in comic book stores and back issues, but yeah, Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. I tried watching the show. It's definitely not for me. I got to like one show. It's just, it's just not, I'm too old for it. But I don't know if this is going to be a character like 10 to 15 years from now or 5-10 years from now that they're going to try and expand on. I didn't hear a lot of like good feedback on the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur show, but it might have been a kind of a summary of expectation and then not being met, but maybe different age groups have a different opinion about it. Beside the point, Pickles, have you ever seen this book before in the wild or like on IG stuff? What's up, Cody?
No. Like I don't know a whole lot about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur because it wasn't necessarily my thing.
Yeah.
I know of the show. I know that Sam Jackson was attached to it and kind of brought it to the screen, but other than that, I don't know a whole lot about the characters or anything like that. When I have seen it, it's mainly been issue 1.
Yeah.
Versus any of the latter ones.
Sure. And I mean, like 47 issues for a series that, this probably ended like not kind of abruptly. That's a pretty long run, in my opinion.
And I don't know what the content of it was like, if it was, because it appears to be more geared towards children, like just based off of the images that I've seen, but I don't know what the content of it is like. So that could be a reason why, if like children really attached to it, like that can make a story kind of drag out longer too.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah, I was
the people that attached to Spider-Man, like the first run of that didn't it go all the way into like the 600s or some shit?
I think it was like 600 was like the last. Yeah. It's 47. You'll see the rest of these books. I mean, Swordmaster. Well, anyway, Fedora, man. What's Moon Girl's kind of take? In the stores, like, do kids look for Moon Girl?
No, but I know kids know who they are mainly because their parents put on the Disney Channel for them.
Sure.
So I know enough to know that. I know one of my coworkers, he has daughters, and they know who Moon Girl is. So I think they're like 2 and 3. So I know that they go to like the little golden books, and they're always picking Moon Girl. So I know like a lot of little babies are familiar with the character, and I guess that's the I guess they're banking on like that. But nah, we don't really sell. I know people know the original, like the Moon Boy and Double Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Because we had number 1 and it sold, but I
30 years from now? When we're in our fucking 70s?
Oh. Yeah, gross. Probably.
Yeah. Darth, man, I know you got some kids and or just like amongst children or whatever. Like, do they know about Moon Girl at all, or have you seen this book?
No, not at all. Right now, I'm all they know is Star Wars and a little bit of X-Men, a little bit of Spider-Man.
Sure.
Like the concept of the Avengers and stuff like that. But right now they're back on a dinosaur phase, so that's what they're all about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have like 2 of these, but I don't even think. Last I looked them, I put them in a box because they weren't even worth selling when I found them.
Right. Yeah.
I think the buzz had already died out, so I just kept them.
Yeah.
But I don't. Again, I know of this character because the same reason you, Mighty Mel.
Mighty
Shout out
Mel.
to him.
Yeah,
But and I would try to hunt all the variants or any second prints or any whatever issues, and I can never find any of it till I find these like 2 copies of the last issue. But yeah, no, don't really know too much. I know a lot of. I think she has her place, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if Marvel will do anything with her. You know,
Yeah.
they're
And
struggling with all those characters, man. Because Captain Marvel just got canceled, bro. I'm the only one who cares. Poor Carol Danvers. You know.
damn.
Yeah, yeah. No Carol book or Kamala Khan. I don't know. I don't know, man. Those characters maybe are hard to write. I don't know.
Might maybe right, and like the cartoon, it was amazing that they had a cartoon come out for her before like Reptile. I mean,
I mean, it got good
so
reviews, like from people
yeah.
that critics, yeah, but I think, and what, we still don't have a second season.
Yeah, that was a long time ago
It
too.
was, if you think about it, that season was, I'd say, about a year or two ago, and we don't have another.
Yeah.
So maybe it didn't, because it's hard. Dude, she's a genius. She's the smartest person in the MCU in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I well, if Mel said it, Mel was behind this character. It's the smartest human in the Marvel, right? In Marvel. So how would you do? Maybe they should grow up, put a few more years on her, and make it,
Yeah.
make it a bit more serious. Put her on a team of young heroes and make her be like the headquarter type, running shit from the side, from headquarters, while young heroes go out and do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the name of that guy? The fucking Punisher's complimentary character. What's his name?
Micro.
Which, dude, I'm a big. I try to go back and read all those Punishers. It was hard because it was like the word bubbles. There's a lot, dude. And then I think Micro dies, dude, in like the second issue. Unless he comes back or they bring him back, dude. And I remember
nothing matters before
Right.
Garth Ennis for Punisher.
But see, I don't know if Micro was in anything other than,
He was. I think he was a Garth Ennis character. I'm pretty sure. I don't
Okay, so
remember
he
him
brought
being.
him-
I remember him vaguely from like Punisher War Journal, but I could be totally off.
Dude, he gets gunned down in like the second or third issue.
Like, Microchip, aka Ferd, can you pull that off?
Yeah, yeah. We had a tech. Damn it, dude.
We got our own Microchip here.
Yeah, we had a tech guy. Huh? Just let me look it up right now.
Oh,
Micro dies. Oh fuck. But no, man. I like this. I would be interested to see if they would ever take that chance, grow her up, maybe for a one shoot or something. A future time, a story in time or whatever. You got a little bit of her grown up, still with the dinosaur, but
yeah.
Oh, I was wrong. He was a Mike Baron creation.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I know he was in the first, in the ongoing my era of Punisher.
That was Mike Baron.
Yeah. So he and a few years ago, I attempted to read it all the way through, right? I think I'm up to like issue 9. That was years ago. But I remember vividly Micro being gunned down in the second to third issue. Or maybe second issue, because the third issue I do remember Frank's in Central America trying to bust up a cocaine. Dude, if you go back and read that Punisher, it's ahead of its time. Or it speaks to our time as kids. Because that's late 80s. And that's
those are like the Contra Wars, man. That's like
bro. Those are
Microchip died in the Garth Ennis Punisher Max.
Okay.
Oh, the Punisher Max. Yeah, I only read War Journal, like the old school Punisher War Journal, but
none of that.
Mike Baron is writing for the Ripperverse now. Oh, okay.
What a loser.
Who?
Mike Baron. All right, back to the list here, guys. Animaniacs number 59. I am actually shocked that this is going for only $10 direct. I feel like there's a newsie out there. I mean, this came out in April 2000. But Animaniacs, definitely, I don't know if that really, I feel like that hits a little bit of like Gen Z, because I know my nephew and niece have talked about it before, and it's got that wacky humor that I think we all love from WB. Pickles, do you have any Animaniacs books in general, or?
I do not.
Have you
I've watched the show. I haven't watched the full seasons of the new ones that they've released on Hulu. But I've seen every episode of the original run for sure, like probably multiple times over, because I used to watch the hell out of that when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I like remember an episode. Like, oh, remember the episode blah blah when this happened? But I like if I saw one, I'd be like, oh, I remember seeing that show.
Like the Good Feathers.
Yeah, the Good Feathers, bro. When they did, I remember a lot because they're in a restaurant. It's Michael Keaton in the restaurant.
Man, I don't even remember.
And, dude, I like it. It was because it was almost adult humor, so there was a lot of stuff that would go over
kids' heads, right?
Kids' heads.
Yeah.
But for us, I think at that age, because I knew who Michael Keaton was, and I knew who Jack Nicholson was, and I knew other actors, but they were all Warner Brother actors. If you think about how they were doing that comedy, those are Clint Eastwood. Those are all actors, and that everybody who did movies with Warner Brothers.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, it was but
Minnie and Buns are my favorite from Spidey Guy Murph. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that freaking dog always chasing that kid. It's just like running around after all the cute stuff. Chasing a butterfly the whole time, but just like in peril, all the time.
I feel like Animaniacs doesn't get as much love because it is a WB character versus like Disney, and but if I don't think Animaniacs would ever have like a spot in Disney anyway. It's a little controversial, like adult humor, like y'all are saying.
No, or Tiny Toons, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about this cover real quick, though. I mean, like, how cool is that freaking cover? I mean, I
got
think
like awesome. Every character on the show.
Yeah. It's got to be short print. Kind of what Michael Baker was saying. Like, final issues are usually short print. But Fedora, do Gen Z kids do they like Animaniacs at all?
No.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. With that,
nice.
Not enough. I'm pretty sure some of them do, but like not enough for me to.
No, you said no. You said no.
Yeah.
Not enough for me to. Not enough for me to be like, oh shit! Like I gotta get that Animaniacs one, bro.
So I always forget, dude. I'm 47. I'm not a boomer.
You're Gen X.
I'm Gen X. All right.
It's the silent generation. It's the boomers. It's the Gen X, then it's millennials, the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, then Gen Beta.
Okay, Jesus, so I'm a latchkey kid. That's what I call my era. Latchkey kid.
Your kids are Gen Alpha.
Oof, they act like it, bro. Because I got these two little dudes, bro.
Oh, and then I guess if me, Fred, and Pickles has kids within like the next, I want to say if we have kids in 2030, which would probably be when we have kids, that they would be Gen Beta.
Gen Alpha. Jesus.
Yeah, they just reset it. They just reset it, bro.
Hey, because there's some stuff that fits, bro. Because I was cooking myself a mini meal in elementary school. Like I can't tell you what 5th grade, 5th grade, or whatever. It was just different back then, dude. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think it's made me I'm like a hovercraft. I'm like a helicopter parent, bro. So when I'm out in public or out in a park or any of my boys, I'm just like watching like a guard, bro. Like I'm just circled, and I'm watching all kids because I'm watching every. You know what I mean? I'm watching anything.
You're the neighborhood dad.
Darth
Lopez.
Hazards.
Comic book collector by day, neighborhood dad by night.
Protector. Yeah, I'm watching everything in every kid, bro.
I feel like I'm mad chill. Like I'm so chill. It's like a detriment. It's like mini cons. You're on a skateboard. You're 4. Yeah, go for it.
I feel like if every kid just shuts the fuck up around me, I'm happy. That's how I feel
about
that.
That sounds like you know what? Maybe I used to think that way back in the day, but now that I'm a father late in life, it's like if you'll I don't know what your life holds, you know what I mean? But shit, the time come, dude, it'll be easy to say, oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever experienced, because it literally is. Because when I see them, when I go, how they work me already with toys and they kicked out on dinosaur, bro, I overspend. but then I'm like, fuck it, whatever, dude. I don't care. But you know what I mean? They
Yeah,
got they got what they wanted, and they got food, and I don't, F it. My dad, all the GI Joe toys, and my mom. That's the only way they would shut me up, to give me that one Joe. You know what I mean? That one toy.
I don't know. Yeah, with me, it was like, if you don't shut up, we're gonna make you shut up. But my dad's almost 90, so like he's greatest generation. So, and he grew up in like, anyway. That's all. I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, so for Swordmaster number 12, if you guys didn't catch the first 10 minutes of the show, supposedly Iron Fist is gonna make it to the MCU. We hope it's the Lee version. We don't give a shit about the other dude.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah, fuck me.
I mean, because that actor sucked. But anyway, Swordmaster 12,
all right, man. He
sucked. He sucked. I'm sorry, man. He sucked.
I'm the only one I think I'm like the only one that liked that first season of Iron Fist.
I couldn't fucking stand it. Like
I watched all the seasons. I was entertained by him. I just wanted him to.
What they tried to do, but
he reminds me of every single annoying ass guy in Seattle that tries to be culturally like whatever, and just not.
You know what? Anyway. But remember back then, MCU was beginning, but they said they didn't train him. They gave him the role quick, so it's the second season he did more, and that's when I felt, he probably could have pulled it off had they planned it right. And I like the Defenders, man. I think in the
Defenders were cool.
You know,
Flynn just, the tough thing about that was he was a badass in Game of Thrones. He was a freaking amazing character in the Game of Thrones.
Who was he? He was in Game of.
He was in Game of Thrones. He was like the brother to Homegirl that became Queen. I forgot exactly, but he was cool, man. He was part of the I don't know, man. Chat, help me
Stark?
out, but
he was not.
He wasn't a Stark. He was. He married. His sister married.
Joffrey. She married.
I don't know if she married Joffrey. I think Joffrey died by then, but no, it wasn't Dorne. It was like I forgot.
Let's ask the tech guy who pulled it up.
Me?
No, just like I just go off.
Chat can help us. Chat help us out with that.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know anything.
Yeah, I forgot, man. Well, we can look it up later.
Fantastic.
I just wanted him to stop running around the show telling people that he was the immortal Iron Fist. Like every time he turned around, it's like every time he was like firing up, he's like, "I'm the immortal Iron Fist, defender of Kunlun." You're just like, "All right, we get it, Danny."
just fucking fight.
Catherine Winnick, if that's how you pronounce her last name, dude. I loved her on that show, man.
Oh yeah, she was good. She was really good.
She passed on a Marvel movie, bro. She passed on that hot garbage, Madam Web, because she wanted to hold out that maybe she could get to the MCU.
Smart. She did a smart thing.
She'd be my Psylocke, bro.
Her agent was like, "Oh yeah, she'd definitely
be my shit." Yeah,
she'd be a good Psylocke for sure. But I don't know if you guys ever seen this, man. But like, Swordmaster 12, it's got to be later print run or a low print run because I think 9 was like 4,500 copies. So I think to me, and I think Pickles can attest to this, like this has like fantasy RPG vibes, like art and like cover. It's a fucking Swordmaster. 15 to 20 still in near mint. I have like 17 copies of this.
Dude, I sold them in bundles.
I got like 20% of the print run of this book.
I don't know what I don't know. This was still back in the good days.
It was still back in the good days because, man, dude, so the kind of story about hunting for books. So like, I went to 4 different stores and it literally took me like 2 hours of travel time and like 4 hours of going through like, books, right? Because this is during pandemic and stuff. And it was like on a fucking Wednesday, dude. I was like, I need help, man. Like this was like peak searching for shit.
Bro, this was fun, dude. That's before my boys were young; they were still babies, and that was the deal with my girl. Okay, when they nap, you can go. I can go.
Sure. Yeah.
So come on, man, go to sleep. I'll go to both of them, and one was a better sleeper. As soon as I looked in that room and they were out, I was gone, bro. Like gone because I only had a short amount of time.
Right.
I don't know who it was that spoke up on this. Mm-hmm. Bro, but I remember finding like in 2 shops, I think I found 4 of these. um, like almost a whole run, and then at another shop at my LCS, and my owner, he wasn't there, so this is fair. I went into the box and 2 of the 1 in 50s cover price. So it was 2 because remember it was issue 1. There was a 1 in 25 which I never found, but there was a 1 in 50.
Yeah,
and there was 2 of them in there. And I remember I was like, "Oh shit!" Didn't say nothing, acted casual because this is home base. And I took all the other Swordmaster books in there. Went to the counter. All right, Savos, here you go. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You know what I mean? But you know what? I never got max value on them. So I never I just didn't catch the FOMO. The FOMO was really for the 1 in 25.
Yeah.
And is there a second print?
There's a second print. There's a 1 in 25 for issue 2.
Which is the one where he got the sword and then he got the reflection of the
I think that's the 1 in 50. I think that's the 1 in 50.
1 in 50 has like a pink background. I have like 4 copies of that book too, man.
Yeah,
I
dude,
don't give a shit, man. If you guys all know me, man, I fucking love Swordmaster. I don't give a goddamn.
Hey, it could turn out to be still very good spec because now the more we think about it, why would I mean if they want to do
me, I told Ferd this. I told Ferd this like between our personal conversations.
Yeah.
And trust me, it's a good spec. Like
I think so, dude.
If you going all in, like trust me when I say it's a good spec.
Because you keep I mean, do we want to with the way the political you're not thinking of culture and all that, right?
Yeah.
You play it safe and you cast an Asian actor. Fuck it. I mean, you keep it just whatever, right? So again, it could turn out to be very good spec, and Agents of Atlas could still turn out to be a good spec.
Yeah,
like there's some spec.
I don't know about that, but...
Well, hey, we get any of those. Well, not in terms of teams, but if we get any of those characters in a movie,
for sure. Like
as a side character or as an ally, you know what I mean? It boom, it could catch a little spark. I don't think we'll ever see pandemic prices,
and I'm okay with that too. I mean, like I just like and Pickles and I we could talk about this too. Like I just loved the story. It was such an original story.
Yeah, and
it wasn't the enemy is so like it's like such an Asian kind of like enemy, right? Because his brother is his rival. It's not like some random person. It's not the dad. It's his brother, and brother doesn't show up until issue 9.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! You know,
and 9 had pop. Yeah, 9.
Yeah,
9,
and here's the other thing too about Swordmaster that
wasn't it the 9 second print, number 9 second print that had the sword.
I don't think there is a second.
No, there isn't. No, but 9 was the hardest one to find.
4,000 copies. I got 30. Yeah. I legitimately like 5 copies of number 9.
Bro, I remember 8 and 9. Dude, I don't know if anybody follows Manny, the collector, on Instagram.
I don't really mess.
But I remember he found a few.
Yeah.
And I found a few that like people would post that they found them. Right, and it was funny because everybody was finding multiple copies.
Yeah, the funny thing is about that book, it's a homage to the Wolverine Hulk cover, and I didn't realize it until like 2 months ago. If you look at it,
it's the face on the sword. Right? So, it's the face on the sword.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until which is too funny.
Wait, what copy was that? Wait, what book was that?
Issue 9.
Issue 9.
Yeah, that was the one I was talking about. The one with the sword with the reflection.
Yeah, that's the first. I mean, that's the only copy or the only cover, I guess. But
you're talking about the black with the sword on it with the villain in the reflection.
Yeah, that's the one that I wanted.
Man, 2 years ago, I had like a short box of Swordmaster. Bro, I think I still got like 6. Yeah, that one.
There you go. That's it right there.
And they were selling, bro, like hotcakes, bro. I had spine ticks in them.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah, whole 340.
They were just flipping. I was like, all right.
Well, people are still asking $80 for that.
I mean, you could get it for like 15,
30,
20.
40, something like that, right?
15, 20, like with the spine tick in it, but yeah.
Yeah. But now, like the near mint was like You know,
it's hard for Near Mint too because that back cover, right? It's got that Avengers cover like with color rub. So
yeah,
maybe if our viewers and subscribers keep going up, I'll give away my Swordmaster slab that I got. I was going to crack and press it because it's got pressable defects, but
let's see it.
Maybe we can give it away.
Wait, which one is it? Which one is it? Show us. It better be the one we just spoke about. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
No, you're not giving that away. You keep we're pressing that for you, man.
It definitely has pressable defects on it. So
I could never find that, bro. That. What's up,
Awesome Sauce Radio? What's going on, brother?
I could never find that, dude. I never find it.
But
none of the Ages of Atlas, bro. Those are all hard to find, bro. Other dudes must have got there before I did, but the Swordmaster shit, dude, it seemed like it was everywhere. And I think I overbought some of it because I still have some in the box somewhere, dude. I know I do.
Yeah.
There's no more books?
Huh?
I was asking Kurt if there's another book to put up.
No, I'll go to the next one.
Yeah, because it's fun to talk about it, bro. Because times were still good back then, bro. You can still go.
I mean, that was like peak, it was a combination of I love the character, I love the story. I know there's not that many out there. I can flip it and pay for the whole run. Man, like runs were going for like $1.25.
Yeah.
For 12 issues.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like. I don't feel like that's flipper like Spec. I feel like it's people actually like the story Spec because you're paying the full fucking run. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You missed Brad Selden falling out of the top 10 Brads.
The pound for pound Brad list.
The Brad the Brad list. Next one. This is kind of like for you Gen Z peeps. Invincible number 144. I personally, before I looked at the prices for this book, I made these comments. Like for me, this doesn't really do anything for me. I think the print was probably very small. But when I looked at the actual prices for this book, and these are sold listings, 65 to 80 for Near Mint. I've seen this go for listing for like 120 at specific comic stores around my area. I mean, if you get a 9.8, you should sell it for $300 to $400 in my opinion. But again, it doesn't really do anything for me. But I'm not a huge. I wouldn't say I'm a huge Invincible non-fan, but I'm not an Invincible issues fan, if you know what I mean. I'd rather just read the story. But I mean, I guess if you're a collector and you're at which a lot of people are, out of the price range for number one, even though the cover sucks on this, maybe this is a good alternative. I don't know. I'll start with Fedora. I wonder if you guys even have this at Midtown or if you sold it recently, but I don't know.
I mean, getting them is it's they don't stay up there for too long. They're gone as soon as they go up. But I would say that the people, I would say that a lot of the newer fans would rather buy they would rather spend $100 on the library edition. Because I see we sell a lot of library editions of or the absolute edition, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
We sell those a lot more. They go a lot faster than the wall ones.
Sure.
A lot of the younger kids, I guess they kind of gravitate more toward the library editions, but I get it because people who are really into Invincible aren't super hardcore collectors of comics, so they rather have the library edition. And there's also this one girl that I know who doesn't know shit about comics has read Invincible twice apparently. So it's and then she's in her 20 or 19 or some shit. So I feel I don't know. I just rather spend $65 to $80 on Invincible book that one has a better cover and two has a first appearance of a character.
Right.
So, or at least has Invincible on the cover of it, a cool cover,
Sure.
Especially if I'm going 400. So, but that's just me.
No, that's all good. Pickles, what are your thoughts on this book?
I like the cover. It's cool. I haven't read the full Invincible run. I mainly watched more of the show because I was put on to. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, and I was put on to the show, and then the show led me to looking up the books and stuff like that. But by then they were already like crazy amounts for everything. So I haven't read much of the series itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't personally own any Invincible books.
Yeah.
I'll look to see if they have any, but it's more for ones that strike me as familiar or like any number of the lower ones.
For sure.
If you can find them at a reasonable price.
Yeah. Which is really hard to do, right? Which is probably why this book's going for what it's going for. Darth, man, what are your thoughts on this book?
Yeah, no. I don't even look for Invincible when I go out.
Yeah.
And even back then, because that train had already passed. So
yeah, right. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I was completely out of the game on this. So and I probably would never even read any of the trades. I just watched the show.
Yeah.
And I always forget about second season's out.
Yeah, I need to catch up on that for sure. We're almost an hour into the show. Before I get into the next slide, I just wanted to actually give a shout out to a good friend who's in the chat, Adam. He's on Awesome Sauce Radio. I actually listened to this show the other day. I was able to catch them, and Sir Christopher the Great, who's the greatest, who's also in our Discord, he was in the chat with Adam, and man, they did not have enough live viewers on their show for the kind of content they were putting out. Basically, just broke it down between what was going on with Doom, and we're trying to be very specific on all that stuff. I watched the whole thing, and it was really good information. I would even say I would go this high as to say they have more knowledge than I think myself, for sure, specifically on what's going on lately. So if you guys give him a follow, Adam's a good dude. Sir Christopher the Greatest and we've been trying to get to know each other on Instagram and stuff, but I just put this specific link on there. If you guys aren't following them, give them a follow, watch the show, put in the background, man. It was such a good show. I really enjoyed it from this past Wednesday, and catch them on their future ones, man. And thanks, Adam, for coming through on the show and visiting us today. So just want to give a quick shout out to the homies in the chat. So
speaking of fall conventions, what up with that Elvira Horror Con?
Hell yeah. Hit us up if you want to get your Elvira comics signed. I don't know if they're doing CGC there, but it's in October, and me and Pickles, we're gonna go.
Hey, if you get it signed, all you need to do is wait till 2025, send it to PSA, because they are authenticated right then and there.
Yeah, PSA is dead to me, but it's all good. Not just kidding. No, seriously though, PSA sucks. G.I. Joe 155. This is probably my second favorite final issue ever, but I know this was like one I remember during the pandemic, like stores were $200 for like an 8.0 and stuff, and people were buying it up, man. And I think as far as like cover and final issue is concerned, like it's kind of the perfect cover, right? Like it's G.I. Joe. It's it was celebrated as the final issue. There's like the flags being folded, like kind of like a funeral. Honestly, it's got all the characters on the front. It's a great book. I think it's, for us old heads, it's a good one to have in your collection if you can get a good price on it. I don't see G.I. Joe really resonating with younger kids as much or at all. Because they're soft, and like the cartoon isn't on, and like I will say this: I was watching G.I. Joe with my niece, and she was like, "So let me get this straight. they're getting lit up shot with lasers.
Lit up.
They're not dying. Like she didn't get it right.
Yeah.
So
hey, anyway. But when you were in the 80s, that shit was epic.
Yeah, right. And I was like, well, like, of course, Adam, anytime, man. It was all honest stuff, man. You guys put out a really good show. I got you guys on my notification bell to catch you guys live next time, but for sure. Anyway, 155 for a 9.2 newsy, which if you are a collector, like I think that's actually not too bad of a price. It hits a couple nostalgia points for me. But yeah, I don't know what the future value of this book is, but the cover just does it for me. I think it's the perfect final issue cover. And it's G.I. Joe. So anyway,
they need to bring back the G.I. Joe cartoon just for kids nowadays, so that they get the life lesson at the end, because knowing is half the battle.
That's right. Knowing is half the battle.
It'd always be like, "Hey kid, you want some candy?" And it's like some dude in the van, and then
that's
it was very
safe.
safe. Hey, you know what? It was very safety because
it was
Duke would
good.
show up and be like, "Hey kid, don't do that."
Or the refrigerator. Don't go into the refrigerator.
Yeah, don't play in the refrigerator. Don't go over a live wire. You know what I mean? It was very.
They were like, I mean, like we remember those freaking lessons at the end though, so they must have worked, right?
The more you know,
reminds me of that.
Bro.
There's like a video that I've seen recently in some country in Asia. I'm not sure where, but it's like a classroom of little kids. They're like 4 years old or something like that, or younger maybe.
Yeah.
And they're all on this thing, and this person with like a bag over their head, like and holes poked in it, comes in with candy and starts offering it to these kids. The person takes the candy from them. They like snatch the kid up and fucking run out of the room, and all the other kids are like, wait, what just happened? And then the same person with the bag comes in offering candy, and the kids flip out. They're just like, no, and they're all crying and stuff like that. And I was like, well, that's prevention, I guess. But I was like, that's a messed up way to teach these kids how to like not take candy from strangers. I was like, you probably could have just told them. You don't need to traumatize them like that.
Whatever works.
But it was like, when they come back in, it's like you just see the terror on all these kids' faces because at first they're just confused. They're like, where did Bobby go? Like that type of deal. And then it's just like the person comes back and they're all flipped out. They're like crying, like immediately crying, like, no, I don't want to get taken.
Oh, that's funny, dude. Anyway, do you guys have this issue at all?
No. This is the one issue that made me give up on putting the Gen run together.
I know we had the first appearance of Snake Eyes recently.
Yeah.
You guys do? Okay.
We had it. I don't know. Now we have the first appearance of Deadpool on newsstand in 9.6. So if anybody wants to buy that, pull up.
I gave up on the G.I. Joe run. I did the math, and it was is that bids? Oh, that's
this is the G.I. Joe Treasury Edition that Adam, I think Michael Baker was pointing this out too, which is beautiful too. I mean, that's a cool one. But here, I'll bust open the Oops.
No, this one is
This ain't a bad one right here, man.
I mean, it's really it's kind of going down.
I don't got no change, bro.
Oh shit!
Look at that 175, bro. I did the math on everything I needed to put the run together. It was
I'm sorry,
close to $400.
Oh really? That's actually,
dude. I had already over time put a lot of money into it, and I just could not see myself. I just couldn't see myself doing it. 181 is priority and other stuff, and keep in the hobby. I was like, dude, it's gonna take me too much.
Yeah,
to put it all together. And I had some later issues. You know, those are worth a lot. I had the Snake Eyes. I had number 1.
What you did with it?
Oh, I sold it, homie.
Oh, you crazy, bro.
I sold it. I bundled it all together, and adios.
We sold a fancy Mafex Blase Blah Snake Eyes figure for like $200 the other day. So
I still got my Duke figure and my Skyhawk. I'm just gonna buy the trade paperbacks.
There's some people that really like. There's a little bit of younger people that really like Snake Eyes. I would say he's the most popular out of like all of them.
Who would you say is the second most popular G.I. Joe?
Storm Shadow has to be.
Who's Storm Shadow? I don't even know who that is.
That's the ninja in the white. It's because you know what? G.I. Joe hasn't ever been properly rebooted. Those movies that came out were hot garbage.
I didn't mind the Snake Eyes movie.
Snake Eyes was. I don't.
Sorry.
No. I didn't.
Safety first, man. Are you good? Are you good?
Yeah. Safety.
No, I'm fine. It's just a guy.
It's you need to do G.I. Joe. It's hard, bro, because either you go one way, you go PG-13, or you make it realistic. Well, you can make it realistic in PG-13, but do you want a younger audience? I don't know if you try to get to a younger audience with G.I. Joe.
I honestly think it's okay to have not a future like the present fans of G.I. Joe, like just stick to those guys.
Are my age. We're 47.
Yeah.
I think
it's okay to not have a younger generation of people. But
I think somebody made in the comment, maybe you do animation in modern time with it. Maybe that could work to reach you. But see because I got some homies. We always talk about it. You know, they're not into pop culture, but they love GI Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And they anything GI Joe, they'll have their whatever. And one of them a few years ago said, "Oh, well, video games, that is GI Joe, bro. You just go play Call of Duty, go play Rainbow Vegas. You know, you run around shoot."
Rainbow Vegas.
I was a monster at that, bro. I was a
Rainbow Vegas.
That's the only shooter, bro. That was the only shooter game that I was ever good at.
SOCOM was my game.
Kill ratio
SOCOM
on
game.
Vegas.
Yeah,
was I was a bro. I rode around with just a shotgun in Vegas, and you know whatever. But I got that's right, because kids could just get on video games or get on their phones and play something similar to GI Joe. Are they going to play with the toys as a kid? They don't even make.
I think that's the big thing, right? The toys just don't really do it for kids anymore.
The Super 7 sell though. You talking about the White Ninja? The White Ninja.
I'm talking I think the reason why like toys don't do so well with kids is because they're fucking expensive. Why would I spend?
But they're on their phones, bro. They like my boys are 5 and 4, bro, and they handle that tablet like fucking.
So the counter argument to that, right, is why would a kid buy $29.99 for a toy when they could buy 4 packs of Pokemon for $3.99?
That too, bro. These dudes got
kind of my thing, but anyway.
Well, I don't know. I think it's doable, but they have to sit down and think it through. Yeah. Because those G.I. Joe movies and Snake Eyes movies were hot garbage.
But again, I think it's okay to not have a younger generation like G.I. Joe,
right?
Because the generation you need to specifically like cater to is us. And I just don't see it. That's just my opinion about it, because it would just take too much money to try and get like these kids. And I think like for me with G.I. Joe, and then we'll go on to the next one. It's the toys that did it for me. I never collected the comic books. It was always the toys. And you don't ever see kids running around like you said, man. They're either on tablets or they're playing Pokemon or One Piece. That's all they're doing nowadays.
Yeah, no kids are playing with like my action figures were all beat to shit because I would take my GI Joes out and find like a little area where there's like the water and set everything.
Yes,
I still do that with my GI Joes.
Yes, sir. I'd be outside at the park with them.
Yeah.
Another I guess millennial Gen X property, Masters of the Universe. This is the Image issue, right? Or series. This is number 8. I have this cover myself. I know I've seen this on a bunch of like Instagrams and all that, but I thought this was actually not too bad of a price just for the cover, rarity. It's an Image book. It's the last issue. 9/8 are going for $200 for best offer, so I figure you get one for like $150. Masters of the Universe, the new series that came out, this latest season I thought was awesome. The initial first season I don't know, man. I didn't really do it for me, but I understand why they were trying to do in the first season. I didn't really like it personally, but I felt like this past season did a really good job. But I'm always on the lookout for this book just to see how much it's going for. A 8-issue run's not very long, but the fact that it's going for like $200 or best offer, I thought was pretty healthy. Fellas, are you MOTU fans at all? My favorite movie is the original with Dolph Lundgren, but
I've never seen. I don't.
Yeah,
I know a lot of girls are into like. I guess a lot of millennial girls. I dated one girl who was like a nurse, and she was kind of interested in comics. But then, like when we were dating, as I was like telling her about comics, she bought the first appearance of Skeletor. Like she bought like 3 copies. And then she like really went all in the rabbit hole of comics after we broke up. Then she started dating like another comic collector. So good for her. But there are like, he's not cooler than me though. But there are like people my age and a little younger. Yo, what the hell, bro? That are into like Masters of the Universe, but specifically Skeletor. I don't know why, but like there's a lot of girls. Yeah, the memes. No, yeah, there's a lot of girls that I know. A lot of girls with Skeletor tattoos. Like Skeletor is like a big. He's still he's more relevant than He-Man right now, I would say.
Yeah, I would make the argument of that as well. Pickles, do you have this book at all? Are you on the hunt for it?
I do not have this book.
And she also bought the one. Which one was the one with Skeletor and the grave on it?
I don't know.
I think it was a final issue of the Star Comics or whatever.
I don't know.
I think it might have been like the Death of He-Man issue with Skeletor over his grave. She bought that one too.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, again, I don't know. I picked this cover or this book specifically because of the Orikobi on the cover.
Okay, but anyway, sorry
it's the best
to
one.
cut you off.
No, it's okay. No, you're fine. Pickles, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I don't know much about Master of the Universe, like books. I basically watched the cartoon as a kid, saw the Dolph Lundgren movie like multiple times with that weird little hairy creature that hung out with him.
Yeah, they ate ribs and they thought it was like they didn't know it was animals.
And it played that weird little like whatever that thing was, flute, accordion, like something or other
with the keys.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't know a whole lot.
Evil Lynn. Remember Evil Lynn in that?
Yeah, Evil Lynn.
She was hot,
I just know
dude.
that, like
Evil
you guys are saying, Skeletor's the more recognized character, especially now with that Isaac, whatever his name is, that does the memes. Remember?
yeah. Fuck, dude, those are great times.
I know, man. That movie was so good.
It was.
I sent you the copy. I sent you the copy on Discord. Just look at it.
Okay.
Because that one's also a big issue, and I think that might be a final issue. But the only reason why I know that is because I was researching like all the Skeletor stuff for her, and she was buying it as it was as I was showing it to her.
What issue is that? 12?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a final though. That might be a final.
Huh.
Boom.
Cool. It says it's not a final, and it's going for 85 newsstand. Very good. Ooh. Seems kind of expensive to me, but
yeah, man. Listen, fucking Skeletor is the man.
Skeletor is pretty funny, man. He cracks me up. What the hell is that noise? All right, and then next up on Ironheart number 12. You know, Ironheart is kind of I brought this up because it's a modern character in the MCU. I'm not specking on Ironheart anymore. I think that ship has sailed. This was like $25, $30. This is another one of those books I just flipped when I used to visit my wife in Reno, and I used to always find copies of this book. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not specking on this at all. But if you are, $10 for a final issue for Ironheart, I think that's pretty good. This suit doesn't even look like her in the real deal, so that's another reason why I'm not specking on this. But Darth, are you an Ironheart fan, or like, are you even going after Ironheart?
No, never.
Gotcha.
And never too much found her back then. I think all I found was the hip hop issue 1. But no,
Yeah.
And I didn't like I didn't like what they did with her in the movie.
Me either. That's not what did it for me.
I think she was underserved. I think she was better off leaving her in her own thing.
Yeah, just introduce her in her own show and just let the character
flesh out, right? Give her time.
Yeah.
I think but
she was like too naive in the show.
Yeah,
is what I felt like. They made her too naive.
And I think I always say, man, a lot of the old Spec is done. I mean,
yeah,
that time is come and gone. I mean, I just don't see
but I will say
like it used to.
I will say this about the Ironheart series and the Invincible Iron Man series with Riri. Those are both really good reads.
Yeah.
The writing in those books, however you feel about Ironheart, spec wise or whatever,
right?
They were good reads. Pickels, what are your? Did you ever read Ironheart? Like any Ironheart books at all?
Yeah, I read a little bit of the run. I have a couple books from it. I think I still have a couple, like a number 1 and maybe something else too. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read it a little bit. I was like anybody else. I was kind of excited to see the character introduced, and then it was kind of like,
Yeah.
I think it was more the suit that did it for me. I didn't mind the character like in the movie. It was just kind of like it is what it is kind of deal.
Sure.
I get why. Like, it would have been better to introduce them in a less traumatic environment, because I think that's kind of what led to the character feeling kind of out of place and kind of disorganized. Was like, hey, you just threw her right into a fucking like massacre. Like the introduction of that character happens, and then like within like 10 minutes they're getting chased, and like it's just kind of like all over the place.
And I think just the emotional part of that movie, because like, dude, we saw it. Like, it's an emotional movie. Like, I think everyone in the back of their head was thinking about T'Challa and Chadwick. And so you're kind of like your heartstrings are getting pulled like already 10 minutes into the movie. And so it starts off super emotional.
I enjoy that movie. I think I liked it
too, but
more than most. I mean, dude, and it's because the change that what they did with Namor, because those are like basically my ancestors. Obviously, I was going to be biased towards it, but at the same time, if I was trying to be objective and neutral, I mean, you know what I mean? Maybe Marvel's politics was okay. We have Shang-Chi, but I don't know how, right? So let's flip Namor to this, because we don't have anything representing this culture or whatever. And it, you go back in time, the time frame with Wakanda, the two nations, the two people, the Mayans, blah 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 blah. It all makes kind of sense, and I know for a lot of
it works. It works in the context of like the story.
Exactly.
I like the change.
It
makes sense for MCU.
It does, but to get that other part of the fandom not for it because they wanted they Namor, I respect and I understand that. You know what I mean? Because I probably would have, if it'd been the other way, I'd be like, oh no, they should have kept them to who he was. But it did make sense. And dude, like, that's a badass scene when they come out of the water, bro. And
that was cool.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I think that a lot of the I don't want to get into it, but like Hispanic culture and all that Maya Aztec, blah 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 blah, hasn't really been touched on so much in the mainstream. You know what I mean? That you could go there and they would get that whistling thing. You know what I mean? The Llorona. It's some of it can fly over people's heads, but other than that, I thought they.
A lot of those things really overshadowed like Riri, but and a lot of what he's saying, and I think she just shouldn't have been in the movie. And I think that they needed to write more good stories with her, because I don't have a problem with the character. I when she first came out, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But then I read some here and there, and I was like, oh, you know what, man? Like, I take that back. It actually has potential. And I really liked what they did with Riri and Spider-Punk. I liked her suit. It was really cool, really grungy and edgy. And I kind of think that, like, that's kind of like what they need to kind of do with the character, instead of making her some like, oh, like, I'm like this clean cut, African-American girl that's super smart. Like, nah, like, you got to be like, they need to make her more edgy, more badass, more raw. And I think the team that she's in with Spider-Punk, with like the
I like the Champions
spikes on it and shit. Champions was good too.
Yeah,
but
that's what they should have done, bro. I mean, I think they accidentally set up for all that to be hated on, bro, by the we hate everything Disney.
No, I mean, it's too much. It's too much going on at once. Like they like, I feel like they have a lot of good characters. Riri's a good character too. Like, I didn't like her, but when you're trying to like set everybody up for a fucking ridiculous spinoff, it kind of devalues the character, because everybody is like fighting for screen time in a movie. Then you got the death of Chadwick,
right?
And then you got the arrival of like Namor and the Hispanic culture.
Yeah,
and then
you had no male lead in the show, so it was already it was just set up for it to be received the way it was. I think the movie still did well. I still enjoyed it. I think for the most part a lot of people did. So if they can grow
Hey,
on.
listen, Namor carried that movie in my opinion.
Yeah, he did, bro. Like the first, especially for the first part of it, him and his people. Every time they appear on screen, it's fantastic. The music, it's executed, the action. They almost gave it somewhat of a horror vibe. These motherfuckers are writing wells in Central Park, like in New York, Fedora's home base. You know what I mean? They just come out of nowhere, jumping off of a well.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say about the whole comic and things like that is like, I feel like because the more I've like read here and there, like the Invincible stuff that you were talking about, I think that if you could pick up the stuff now at cheap, go for it. Like, you pay as cheap as possible, because I think sooner or later, if like it's gonna pay off, because I know that, you know, they're gonna want to use this character more, you know, because I know people like her. People like her. There's enough people to like her for them to push her, but there's enough people to dislike her for her not to get like a really big push.
Right.
So
Exactly. Fair shot. Yeah.
Exactly. All it's gonna take, it's like some one young hungry writer to go, oh, nobody's doing anything with this. Can I write it?
Yeah.
And then that's when you'll start to see like the snowball going again. When is that gonna happen? I don't know. But
the Invincible Iron Man run that was specifically for Ironheart that Bendis wrote was like such a good ride.
And that was always
so good.
That was always talked about during all her heat. I always heard a bunch of people that we all watch, a lot of them, it was a good read, a good read. And you know what? Honestly, if the character doesn't resonate now, like I've heard the same thing about Kamala Khan, right?
Yeah.
Some of her reads were good. And when characters like that are small, for me, that's always a win. If in the comic book community, that people that read comics and will read runs on some of these characters say they enjoyed that run, dude, that's a win. Like I take everything else. That's good enough for me. So, but they should have left her to her own, you know. And then they Marvel's like, I don't know what they're doing. They got to figure it out, because I don't know if they're going to use these small characters that they all took time and Phase 4 to introduce. And the only thing I worried about, there was no young male. Like you like it was all Kamala, Riri, Kate Bishop. Where's the young dudes? I only say that because you know what I'm talking about. That narrative out there, MCU. You know, the dudes that love to hate and all that. Blah 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 blah. And that's the only thing that worried me. Like you gotta balance that team out. We already got 4 young ladies that could probably do it. We need 3 younger male characters, which is hard because you can't do Miles, you can't do Champions. Can you do Hulkling? You can do Nova, right? You can do Nova, but what else can you do?
Yeah,
Amadeus,
huh?
You could do
Amadeus Cho.
Can you? Would it if you could? I guess you could execute if they pull it off. And that's the thing. That's why I personally was into Phase 4, because I said, okay, so they're gonna set up smaller characters on Disney Plus and work them into the lineup.
I think in general, like Disney needs to make a decision. Like they need to make a decision whether like they're gonna stick with what they're doing now, which I did read this actually metric. So the worst performing like spin-off shows like Kamala Khan. I don't even want to go into, but oddly enough, X-Men 97 actually did not meet expectations either.
No.
Which if you would have seen social media, and I'm talking about viewership, I'm not talking about like writing. It was the best show I've seen in forever. So I was actually shocked that X-Men 97 didn't do very well. For whatever reason,
they thought it was gonna get 50 million views on fucking.
I mean, from what social media that we were watching, man, like it didn't. I thought I thought I was gonna get like. I thought I was gonna bring people back to subscribe to X-Men 90 to Disney Plus.
And allegedly nobody watched X-Men, bro.
Yeah, which is so weird, man, because like
this community.
Yeah. So and this is the question, right? So like, they need to figure out: do we need to do more movies like Deadpool, Wolverine, R-rated, what have you, and cater towards that crowd, not necessarily like male demographic, or do we try and push the younger crowd who maybe is not ready for comic books in general? And that may be the thing, right? So anyway, not to get too political about it and stuff, but
they just
I am
need
a
to
Disney
leave the dark
shareholder.
stuff dark. Leave the dark stuff dark. Leave the light stuff light, and just do it like it's already been friggin' presented to you. People liked it for a reason. Stop trying to tweak everything. Like, you can tweak some stuff, but it's like you already have the story plot laid out for you. Just like follow the map.
Just do it. Like, yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I don't know how much money it costs to do that, but definitely I know that there are some specific projects that aren't making money, and that's what it comes down to.
Look, nobody watched X-Men 97 allegedly. Well, nobody watched it. By their numbers, right?
By their numbers, which I thought was weird.
But it's like you said, it felt like the whole world was watching it. Yeah. But season 2, season 3 greenlit real quick.
Yeah, 100%. And maybe it's a magnitude of like
the buzz. I don't.
Well, maybe the viewership from people watching it doesn't resonate in the money that it should make. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but moving on. This is definitely. I know anyone under 35 don't know what Kid and Play is, but I thought this is funny as hell. Yeah. Kid and Play number 9. I didn't even know they had a comic book series, but this just cracks me up. Gen Z nostalgia. I mean, early millennial nostalgia. Who hasn't watched? I mean, dude, literally in college, I was a part of. What was it?
I don't know what you.
Oh, I was social chair in my fraternity, and we had a pajama jam because of Kid and Play. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm not gonna talk about it, but it was a good time. Anyway, $24.99 to $50 raw, near mint. Kid and Play number 9. There's got to be a newsstand out here for this book, but I don't think I'd ever grade this book. But how cool would it be to get this book, get it signed by Kid and Play, and ask them, "Did you guys even know you had a fucking comic book?" Right. I think it's just hilarious to me, fellas. What are your thoughts on this one?
And it's more
funny.
That's a good book. There's a lot of hip hop people that come into the shop in New York City. Only because it's the mecca of hip hop, and they really buy like hip hop related comics.
Yeah.
And with like a lot of the cross pollination between comics and like sneaker culture and Kith and Supreme, and we're getting all of this cross collaboration with hip hop culture. It makes sense that this would be cool to get. Now, if you could, and I know a lot of those actors, they do like a lot of like the major hip hop events, and they're really nice guys. From what I've heard, and I'm pretty sure they'd sign it. Like that would be the play to get it signed and get it graded. I think that's cool. I think there's definitely a market for it for sure, especially if you could get it signed.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Doc Joe, I don't know if he has this one, but I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. Yeah, Darth, let me ask you this real quick, man. Did you ever watch the Kid and Play movies, and did you ever go attend a pajama jam before in your life?
No, never pajama jam. No, but of course, watch the movies. I know. I grew up in the same neighborhood where this house.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we used to call it the Happy Hood because LA can be weird, especially on the west side, as it thins out into better area. There's like a pocket of homes that they were 2-story. They were now I think it's always been expensive in LA. Now they're probably $1 million homes, but back then, 80s, 90s, we'd ride our bikes in those little areas and play in those areas. They were 2-story, 5 to 6, 7 bedroom homes with garage. Dude, we called it the Happy Hood, and I know for a fact that that's where that movie that house that they used was in there.
Oh, okay.
Right, but I love Kid and Play. It's funny.
Dude, those freaking movies.
Campbell,
were so
man.
funny,
Everybody
man.
who, I mean, any had a crush on Tisha Campbell.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those were the classic. You go to the movies with your friends.
Yeah, and just laugh. The whole crowd's fucking cracking up, man.
The bus again. What am I, Gen X? Yeah, to next. We take the bus, take 3 buses to get to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the movie theater and take the bus back. Stop at the donut shop, play video games, look at the comic book rack, get back on the bus. Oh yeah.
The funny thing is like, so my sisters were about your age, and so whatever they were into, like I had to, right? And, so like that was my introduction to Kid and Play and House Party and all that stuff. And see ya, wouldn't want to be ya was one of the lines I used to say from the movies and all that stuff. But
flat top,
flat top, Pickles, dude. What if we went to like I don't think we could do it. Never mind. But what are your thoughts on this?
A pajama jammy jam?
We should throw up a jammy jam. And like no party, just pajama jam.
Class reunion pajama jammy jam.
Yeah, that'd be badass. With pillows and shit.
I don't know what you came to do.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
That's an epic fucking movie. They should remake it reboot it somehow with the new actor, with the same actors. Figure it out.
They did. Well, so they
did something, right?
They made a reboot of it. But
LeBron, bro, they use LeBron.
Yeah, they take over LeBron's house or something like that. So I was like,
blasphemy.
Yeah, I was like, if you're gonna redo it, you got to at least have them in it, have it be their
have their kids in it,
like that.
Have their kids in it,
like their kids are the ones throwing the party, and then they're like, "No, this is how you're supposed to do it."
Right? They're all still alive. All of them, all 4.
What was that? What
they were in that commercial.
They would do dances and they would kick each other's feet and shit.
Yeah.
What? They hold hands and hold feet in a circle.
Dude, they were doing that. They were doing that at all the junior high dances.
Oh hell yeah, man!
Yeah.
Not our high school, but yeah. But
I did dance. I was on the wall.
I thought this would be a fun one. I know you guys get a kick out of this in the chat. Obviously does as well. Doctor's got 4 of them. So
Bird's first annual comic community pajama jammy jam.
That would be much. You need a lot of deodorant for that one. Anyway, before I get into the last one, I want to thank the chat, or I want to thank the panel for hanging out with me again on a Sunday. Again, we're past 700 subscribers. Pushing through. Do me a favor, check out our other videos. I'm doing the market reports for comics, other than these ones, on Mondays. I'm doing the video game market reports on Tuesdays, and then I'm actually getting into One Piece quite a bit here. We'll hopefully do one show live one of these days. I'll see, but I just don't have enough time in the day. But do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to all your friends, watch all of our content. We're almost monetized. But without further ado, here's the last one. Can you guys think of what I'm going to do for the last one? Just out of curiosity. No, I'm not going to do Ghost Rider, but I was going to do it.
Just show it. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Ready, baby.
Static, number 45.
No.
You see, I should have guessed this.
Yeah. So
X23.
I do have this book signed. It's a 9.6.
Who signed it?
I still have it. It is signed by Dennis Cohen. I figured I'd get it signed by him. I know he's like one of the original writers or whatever, but anyway, yeah, I just think the cover is amazing. It's a rare book. It's Static. Who knows he's going to make it in the DCU? I don't know.
He is. Trust me.
I got this. I like this book. I paid about $300 for this in 9.6. Got it signed. Still 9.6. It's fine. But I got it because the fact that Morbius drew this and it had Static in it. I thought it spoke to me. $202.50 for a near mint copy of this book. And yeah, fellas, what's your thoughts on this book?
Listen, you better get Static while it's cheap, because I'm telling you, once it's over. If he gets into a good movie, it's over. That's it. Just go home. Like that book, even the regular cover A of number 1. I know it's like a $30 book. Anything Static related is not gonna be. It's gonna be like 100 minimum. So like, get it while you can, because if something big happens with this character, that's it. It's clipped. You're gonna get everybody from Gen Z relate to this character, fucking millennials, Gen X. Like everybody's gonna be down with this character. Like even now, like anytime there's a new Static series, it sells. It sells really well. The new series, the new series did a really good job at getting Gen Z involved with the character because they redesigned him to look more like a kid from today, and it worked. They didn't do any of that stupid, stereotype haircut with the dreads off. They didn't give him the Killmonger. Like they had people that knew what they were doing. They had a lot of like smart people involved in this new Static project, and it shows in the comics. The trades always sell. We get people from Brazil, like, yo, you got Static Shop. Tourists from Brazil, like Afro Latino tourists are looking for it. African American people are looking to buy the book. Everybody from Gen X to Gen Z, he's gonna be a character that's gonna transcend. Like he's essentially DC's Miles Morales, and he just needs that one.
He was Miles Morales before Miles fucking Morales, right?
Yeah, I know, yeah, but that's the easiest way I can say it, right? Like, he's a sleeping giant right now. Like he could protect. He at one point he was more relevant than Black Panther. If you could believe it or not, bro, he was more relevant than Black Panther. What?
So specifically, would you rather have issue 1 platinum or Static 45?
What does issue 1 platinum go for right now? Like a raw copy?
That's the rare of the 3, right? So, just based off comic book collecting without going over prices, what would you rather have?
I mean, so the last issue, it has a look of Static that everybody's going to be more familiar with. Him on like the garbage can
circle thing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think no kids that know Static, they know him from the WB look. And even in the newest run, they kind of mimic the WB look, the WB cartoon look. I know they tried to give him like they homaged his first one. They gave him the first suit for like the first few issues, but then they gave him the look that kind of made him famous with Kids WB animated show. So it's really going to come down to like what's going to sell more and what are people going to be more familiar with when you're like, if you're trying to sell the book. Disclaimer, I do not flip or sell books. So it'll probably be Static, the 45.
Okay.
That's just off the back of my head.
I was like, Static. Huh?
Were they asking what the print run of this was in the chat?
I think that's what and I couldn't find it.
It was only so ordered by retailers. It was under 5,000. It was like 40.
Holy shit.
It was like 4816 were ordered.
Well, good luck.
Well, I got 4 more, and I don't.
I'm
sure Doc Joe has like 3.
Print run, but
I mean, dude, anytime you can, urban culture crosses over all the time.
Yeah,
and that's all it takes. I don't know much about Static, bro, but just from what I do know, all it takes is the character and the property being treated right. We all know that hip hop, urban culture, whatever you want to call it, crosses over, man. And
I was literally looking for that last night too.
What, Static 45? So
like
Jason's favorite.
I was sitting right there watching the Mariners game and searching for Static 45.
Not looking at
which is
baseball.
Kind of funny.
I want to do a sports show, bro.
What?
I will. Podcast. I like podcasting. It's fun when you're doing it with the right people.
Yeah.
But the one thing I could talk all day is just sports, bro.
I can't talk sports because I took a sports econ class in college.
He'll be a Yankee fan and me not being a Yankee fan. That's like an hour conversation off of nothing.
So I can't get into sports too much because I took a sports econ class in college and it just ruined sports for me.
Did it?
It ruined sports. It just did.
I will say one thing:
based on your sports econ
as well
class,
as they did last night.
Yeah, we're good. What was that, Fedora?
Based on your sports econ class, what's the likelihood Yankees make it to like the ALDS?
I mean, based on sports econ class, my sports econ class, it's probably the Dodgers and New York, but they're, obviously there's that's the simple kind of thing, right? But it was more of like seeing a team that spent 100 million one year and then they increased their payroll by like 45 million and the exponential like increase in dollars and it's all sports. It's not just baseball.
Turns out
like
you're moneyballing it.
They don't win, bro.
They don't. I didn't. The Moneyball didn't come out until after I took that.
You can take all that out. All that goes out the window because the last Yankee team that had big names was when they beat the Phillies. You know, because after the Yankees, after the night, I unfortunately had to go through that Yankee dynasty in the '90s, right? And they ran through my team twice. But about that Yankee dynasty team was they were put together in a way that they don't put the teams together anymore. A lot of them were homegrown. Bernie Williams and all those players, they made a right move here and there, like Paul O'Neill, Jimmy Key, or David Cohn, whatever. They were constructed different. Once the Yankees tried to do the modern market, buy the best player, they haven't won anything.
And every year,
that's the last time. But that team was built. Jeter, it had veterans still, and they were transitioning to buying everybody, and that's their last chip.
Isn't that when that era? That's what Tino Martinez went to, wasn't it? From the Mariners once he was
96.
He went to the Yankees.
96.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. They those teams, they plucked players from other like veterans. I hate talking Yankee history, but I respect it. But in this modern era baseball, they have not won anything, and they just buy holes. They buy all these all-star, all these top-notch players, bro. Like all the free agents, and they can't even get out of the first round of the playoffs. What's that tell you? Baseball has they've moved away from that. You look at teams that have won championships in the last few years. A lot of it's homegrown, and the one important thing, they get hot at the end of the season. Those teams that get hot in baseball at the end of the season tend to do well because nobody thought that the Rangers were going to go to the World Series last year, right?
Also, says, "What are the Yankees?" And Fedora says, "Oh, fine."
Unfortunately, they got 27 championships, bro. Unfortunately,
I mean, so just talking about my sports econ class, it wasn't so much like a team that consistently spends it's going to be like it'll eventually win. It was more so a barometer of like if you increase your payroll by a certain percentage, your wins will increase exponentially the following year. And so they use like the Seattle Mariners 2001 team, right? Like that was like the perfect example of they spent like 55% more than they did the year before on free agency and Ichiro, whatever, right? And some things fell into that kind of category. But the fact that they spent XYZ percent more than they did the year before, they became the winningest team in baseball history. So, that and Oakland is like, that's like Oakland's just different, right? That's
but you would get as a Mariner fan, you would give all those wins back for them to win in October.
1,000%.
So that's why I don't do the analytics, and a lot of it now I stay how I view sports, how I came up. All that matters, bro, is who wins. You know what I mean? And the formula hasn't been in baseball to buy up all the best free agents because the Yankees do that and the Dodgers. And I grew up with motherfucking Dodger fans, and they only have the bubble chip. That they were lucky that my Braves choked up 3-1 on them, or they wouldn't even got to the World Series. So
I would take that bubble chip all day.
Of course, I take the bubble chip with the Lakers. Of course, of course, you know what I mean. But you look at the two teams that spend the most in baseball, the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Sure, yeah,
they only have one championship amongst.
But so argument against that, right, Darth, is like
the
Texas Rangers who won last year.
Yeah,
they were 2 years ago or 1 year ago. They were the
team in baseball.
Well, no, they spent Marcus Semien and Corey Seager $400 million, and they win a championship a year later.
Yeah,
so and that's just an example of like how sports.
I'm pretty sure they had pieces already there.
Yeah, but if they didn't spend $400 million, there's no way they would have won the World Series.
What about the 2008 Yankees? They were like almost at the bottom, bro. They were almost at the bottom of the division.
Well, next year, tell you what, we'll do a sports econ class this week. I'm just kidding, but it was, and I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's not, there's no perfect, formula. It was just, I can't fucking watch sports anymore, man. That fucking class ruined me. But anyway, well,
we gotta do the comics econ class.
Oh my god, goddamn.
Just watch golf or something. Then there's no sports econ for golf.
Yeah, there is.
Speculate.
I speculate. We don't speculate, man. We just put the market out there. We talk about it, and It is what it is.
We gotta teach people how to speculate, so they're not walking up to me on fucking register and going, "Which book you think is gonna? Which incentive back there you think is gonna go up in value?" And then I looked at the guy dead in his fucking face, dead in his beady eyes, and I was like, "None of them."
Yeah, you can't even think that way, right?
I mean, you can. You're just gonna waste a lot of money. You know what I mean? So.
Like, come on, bro. If I knew, you think I'd be working behind the register right now?
That's like people asking me, like, "Hey, what stock should I buy to like
that's why
10 years I get like 10,000%?"
That's why I feel bad. I feel bad for the people that got into the hobby during the pandemic, and you know what I mean. And
it was after.
And I don't want to say they were.
They were you could say they were.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
Because
man.
I just,
like,
dude, because it's like, damn, bro, it's tough. It's tough because.
But now, right? Like, it's more. We're smarter now. I would say, even though we still talk about what pushed books during the pandemic, we're smarter.
Yeah.
Now. You know, I mean, we are.
Some of us just, yeah, dude. You know what? My personal experience was exclusives. The exclusives. In a year, the amount of money that I wasted on store exclusives in almost a year taught me almost everything I need to know on how I do stuff now and afterwards.
I wasn't buying anything during the pandemic. Once I saw crazy prices, I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm not buying anything.
Yeah. And I was selling, so I became a seller. So I knew what I knew, learned what I learned, and I watched a lot of the same people we watch, and I took that game. And I just went out and I dug and I flipped and whatever the case may be. And I never, I just, did I get FOMO? I think a lot of us did, but never on keys, never on big books, I got FOMO'd on, like, it sparked my newsstand love of newsstands. Now I have to go and find or pay to get every X-Men, Jim Lee newsstand, every Uncanny. Like, a lot of newsstands was like where I personally fold myself. But like, buying keys and buying 9/8 of that were spec books, never, bro.
Yeah.
It's just because of the pandemic. I got every fucking flat foot Momo. Fucking, it's just I get mooks pulling out their phone and showing me key collector app. Like, yo, you got this book? And then I'm telling the guy, like, yo, bro, like, why you don't listen to that app, bro? Don't listen to that app. Like, there's nothing good that's gonna come of that app. Like, maybe now and again you might find something, but bro, like don't, bro.
Look, I use that app. I don't mind that app. I'm like, the app.
I literally use that app for today's show. So
hey, it's a brilliant idea, but I understand why people. But I would remember back in that day, in that time, people talking about on content about a few books, and I shit you not, the next day they were on the collector type of.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, this dude talked about this book, that guy, and they were right. They were like right there on, I don't forgot, hot, whatever it is on there. Hot, even though I look at that app almost every day, I don't even know the categories because
I look at that app because it generally, like, I'm wondering, like, oh, I really want to know what the first appearance of The Simpsons is.
No, yeah. If you're gonna look at it for that, like a database, 1,000%.
Then I think that's what it's good for. I mean,
but if you're coming into a fucking comic book store and you're harassing the clerk, like me, poor me, like, you got this book, it's like, bro, like, are you gonna buy it or
sounds like Jason? Sounds like Pickles.
What are we doing here?
Tell him Fedora, bro. Put out to YouTube.
I can never see you do it,
bro. Like, do you have this?
Do you have this book? If you don't, you die.
Yeah.
No, that's how they be coming in with that Super Bowl energy. Like if they don't fucking get this book, like, their team is losing or some shit like that. Like,
sounds like a New York Yankees fan. We'll end the show with that today. I'm just kidding. No, I'm playing.
Bro. That's the energy. Like, Wednesday mornings in Midtown Comics, it's a crazy energy of, like, it's just crazy. You don't want to be there, bro. You don't want to be there.
I don't ever want to be in a comic store in general on a Wednesday, so I feel you in Midtown. I would say this to end the show, that I do enjoy Yankee fans a lot more than I enjoy Boston Red Sox fans. But anyway, well, I want to thank the panel for coming out tonight and hanging out with me. It was a fun show to do. No speculation here, just putting out some ideas for everyone to click on. Spec is dead unless you're buying Swordmaster. Just kidding. I want to thank the chat for always bringing it. We had 25 live today and 22 strong, going into almost 2 hours of chatting about comic books, Moneyball, sports economics. Mariners are playing today at 4:00 on ESPN against the New York Mets.
Oh, that's right. We got Sunday night baseball.
Yeah, Sunday night baseball.
Go Braves, baby, go Braves.
Braves are good too, man. You gotta love Acuna. Oh, he's out for the season.
He's out for the season.
My fault.
It's not
Max
doing
Fried,
they
though,
need
you
to
got
get
Max
rid of
Fried.
Stanton. They need to get rid of Stanton. I'm tired of that fucking
We'll take him.
bum
We'll take him. We'll
just
take him.
stinking up the fucking lineup. That motherfucker can't hit.
He's got like 2 home runs in the past 3 years in the postseason again.
Sounds like A-Rod numbers. Sounds like A-Rod numbers.
Yeah.
He's the A-Rod of the New York Yankees.
Anyway. Stanton is a fucking bum, and I want them to get rid of him, like trade him, bro. Like every time I see him,
ain't no one taking that contract, man.
It's a staple. Hey, a Fedora Yankee rant at the end of the show is a staple.
All right,
like
Fedora, hold on.
What?
Send us off.
Yo, fuck you, Giancarlo Stanton. Like when you do something right, it doesn't matter. When you need to do something, you don't, bro. Like. How are you gonna hit a home run when we down 9? Where was that energy the last 5 games? Yo, Giancarlo Stanton, you're a fucking bum. I'm tired of seeing you on the lineup. I don't even know why we have you. Like, I would pay you just to fucking stay home, bro. Like, every time you show up, like, you just don't contribute anything. And when you do contribute, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I hate you, Giancarlo Stanton. He's a meme. I hate him. Like, you know that guy that shows up to the comic book store and you know he's gonna fucking try and buy multiple copies of the new hot book, and you gotta tell him at the register
151, okay.
To get out. Like, that's who Giancarlo Stanton is. The person that's gonna show up, give everybody a hard time, and ultimately leave the store with nothing. All right.
And not hit in October.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, like, fuck you, Stanton. Fuck you. Let's go Jazz Chisholm. We in the Jazz era now, bro. I'm gonna start playing the saxophone because of him. That motherfucker, he did more than fucking Stanton did in like what, 6 games, 8 games than this motherfucker did in his entire career. Like, isn't that crazy? And we ain't even spend
10 seconds.
on him. We ain't spend anything on him. We just traded like our some crumbs to the Marlins. Fucking bum Stanton. Get the fuck out.